welcome to your amazing budget sheet. So I have put this together because it looks a little bit different than the stuff we've done in class. First thing, this is your budget template. It is in Excel. I'm working on one for numbers for those of you who are using numbers. Might just take me another day to get it up. There are some questions in here that you need to ask or answer first. The first one is, when are you going on your trip, and justify with your data. So I've picked June 2nd to June 18th, primarily because of temperature. That's water temperature as well, flights. And for me, I'm also looking at like tourist rates. Rates are low. Okay. Up here for your budget template, I will ask you to add, put your name in here. So this is Mr. Paul's template, or Mr. Paul's trip to Bali, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I'm going to undo that because I don't want to mess up. No, I can't even do it now. Budget template. All right, so next one, what flight? And in here, if I want you to go in and find an exact flight. If the price has changed a bit, just note that in your table at the bottom. So Air Canada YYC to at 3 o'clock, 3:30 p.m., arriving in Bali at whatever time it is. Where are you staying? Put the name and the address. Even put a picture in here. I would love to see where you're staying. Okay, it just makes it that much more like exciting. Up here, like, where are you going? When are you going? Put a picture of your trip. Okay, make it a little exciting. Next thing, have you filled out the activity T-table with a minimum of 4 activities? It's either a yes or a no. And if you answer no, that means you haven't done the work. So you need to do that. The next one is there any other transportations? I don't like renting cars. That's just me. I prefer to use local transit. So for me, I'm going to be using taxis, bikes, and trains. If there's no trains on Bali, I'd be taking a bus, which is probably more likely what it is. So as we scroll down, you're going to see the trip activity list. That shouldn't say trip. This should say your trip budget totals. Totals for the 14-day adventure. Okay, so X category, this is going to be my categories. So flight, accommodation, food, activities. These are the 4 main ones. These 4 are must-haves. Okay, other transportation, this is something you can add in if you want. Souvenirs, if I'm going to Bali, I'm buying a surfboard. I know that. And then if you have any other options, no big deal, go for it, add them in. Okay, so for me, it's the top 4 is what we really need to graph. The bottom 4 are optional. Now, a couple of things you'll notice in here. For the flight, I put in my total cost. For accommodation, I knew it was going to be $26 a night to stay in one of those cool little houses that are right over of the ocean, which is just totally awesome for me. I would be stoked about that. So what I do is I take that $26, 26, and I'm going to multiply it by my 14-day stay. Okay, but technically, depending on when you fly in, fly out, it could be 14, 13. For our purpose, just multiply all of your day things by 14. Okay, we're getting an average, so you see I get $364. Food, there's another video that helps you calculate your average food cost, so take a look at that. It's only 5 minutes. There are 2 different ways to do it. So for me, I'm going pretty budget. I'm going to be harvesting a lot of bananas and stuff. So the blog I looked at was $15, so I took that, multiplied it by 14 to get this. Activities I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Other transportation. So for me, this is going to be my bike rental that I looked into. I also looked at the cost of taking a bus. So if we do 226 divided by 14, total is going to be about $16 a day. Okay, which is pretty cheap. I'm pretty stoked about that. Souvenirs. Now, although I have my trip budget, which is often how you'll work things out, that's $600. I'm going to divide by 14, and it's going to give me an average of what I could spend each day. So round it. I'm not going to deal with decimals here. So for my souvenirs, I'm looking at $42 a day. Okay. Now at the bottom, you'll notice there's this black bar. Don't mess with that. Don't try and change the numbers. This one is what we call a running total. So currently my trip is costing me $2,745. That's pretty cheap. Okay, my flight cost is a little low there. But anytime I go in here to add something, so watch the total at the bottom. If I add $1,000, it automatically updates that. Over here, my $1,000 divided by 14, what's that going to be? Clear, $1,000 divided by 14 gives me $71 a day. Okay, and let's call this helicopter to other island. To Iceland. Okay, now if you guys ever need to extend these bars, remember, go up to the top, you get that double black arrow, and I can make this bigger. Okay, so you can do that anywhere. So that one's done, but my activities portion is blank. And here, do you notice how my option 2 is open? No big deal, okay? You don't need to use that. I'm going to take that delete if you're not using. Now, please note, if you're estimating food and transportation costs for the day, multiply it by 14. If you have a trip cost like flights, divide it by 14 to get the daily costs. I do want you to fill out both sides. Okay, so I should be filling out my flight cost. I would go 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to worry about the cents. Divide that by 14. If I averaged out my airplane cost for the day, it would be $96. Okay? Now, as we move down, your trip activity list. This one here, same deal. Okay, so surfing lessons. This is the cost for one day. I always like to take surfing lessons wherever I go because it enables me to learn the breaks. Zip line, this is one trip. Okay, catamaran, this is a one-day trip. Surfboard rental, this is actually for the 14 days. So I found out how much it was going to cost, and I don't have that in front of me, so let's just do it the reverse. This is the second time I've had to shoot this video because I messed something up. So divided by 14, I think it's around 16 bucks, 13. Okay, so what I did is I took $13, $14 and multiplied it out by 14. So in here, I can also add times 14. This is for 14 days. Okay, snorkeling rental, and this was actually for 14 days as well. So all you do is you click in there until you see the cursor flashing for 14 days. So this tells me this is the total cost that you're going to spend. I could add more. I'm looking for 5 total. Now, do you notice at the bottom there's black? Again, do not touch. Do not touch. Do not touch the black box. Okay, if you mess that up, don't worry. You'll have to just calculate this by hand. So my total cost for activities is $782. I go up to the top, $782. Now I also have to divide that by, what is it? 14, very good, you're listening. So I get 50, let's say $56 a day is my activity cost. Okay, this is the information you need. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the circle graphs in class. If you'd like to do it now, very straightforward, highlight it, go up to your charts, which is in my home, charts, circle graph, and I'm going to do a bar of a pie. That's kind of cool. I don't even know what that tells me, but yeah, that's kind of silly. Let's do something else. Let's just do a standard 3D pie chart. Okay, that's that. I could go through and change the top up here. I'm going to do a similar thing. Okay, we're going to graph the day, and then there's a trick to graph the total cost. That's the whole budget portion, guys. If you have problems or questions, please contact me through the discussion and I'll make it clear. Hope this helps. Have a great week. Bye.